Hi there and welcome back to Get Indie Gaming. With this year's E3 come and gone, it's high time we took a moment to run through some of the best looking indie games showcased at the various press events and on the shop floor. While perhaps not a classic year for the big guys showing off indie game talent, there was plenty on offer for us to get excited about. As ever, if there's anything here that takes your fancy or you think we've missed out on something, please let us know in the comments section down below. With that all said, let's crack on with the best looking indie games from this year's E3. First up, and in no particular order, we have Tunic, one of the highlights of the PC gaming show. Being developed by a one-man team in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and in partnership with Fringe, the publisher of Night in the Woods. Tunic is slated to launch next year on PC and consoles, and features an intrepid fox within a beautiful Zelda-style isometric world. Unto the End is a 2D cinematic adventure with skillful sword-based combat and emergent gameplay. You take the role of a father who sets out on a quest for vengeance after his family are killed by a ferocious beast. It's a journey of unforgiving encounters, meaningful choices, and moments of stark beauty. Out on consoles and PCs at some point next year. At first glance, the Darwin project appears to be an intense online multiplayer shooter, not too dissimilar to the likes of Overwatch and Call of Duty. Players must battle both the harsh environment and one another in order to survive a Hunger Games type challenge. A release date for the game has yet to be specified, but no doubt we'll hear plenty more about this in the near future. Laser League is a fast-paced, pick-up-and-play multiplayer title supporting different player combinations up to 4v4, where your team navigates a board filled with colour-corresponding light fields. Run into the other team's colour and you're dead, and vice versa. Simple enough. Very little is currently known about Shift, shown as part of Microsoft's ID at Xbox montage. Since its trailer, the developers have taken to YouTube to reveal this promising-looking brawler that seems to blend science fiction with ancient martial arts, should make its way out in time for this year's holiday season. This one hits the Xbox first with the launch on Steam at some point in the future. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine doesn't structure itself around one central narrative. Instead, it focuses on a collection of short stories. Each story loosely ties around the theme of the exploration of America's collective identity that reflects the cognitive dissonance surrounding the idea of the American dream. With Fringe Wars from Oasis Games, we have a 5x5 MOBA that features capital starships. Each ship has its own stats, abilities, role, and loadout. The weapons are customizable, so are the shields, and so are the cosmetics. This game will be coming to early access sometime in Q4 this year. Stifled takes the concept of echolocation further by adding the player's headset or computer microphone as an additional means of noise generation. While sound in the game makes the world visible, it also attracts the horrors that lurk in the darkness. This means players will need to be wary of how much noise their character creates as they explore, but also keep a check on any grasps or yelps they make the other side of the screen. Gatai Games are hoping this adds to the immersion by further enhancing the unnerving atmosphere of the game. Unruly Heroes is said to be inspired by the famous Chinese legend, A Journey to the West. Further details on the game are currently sparse, but what we do know is that we're looking at an action-adventure platformer that can be played in co-op for up to 4 players. The game will also have an online player versus player mode. Unruly Heroes is set to release on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC sometime early next year. Developed by Polyarch, Moss is another adorable looking Zelda-inspired game that's hitting the PSVR lineup. Moss will be an angled-in, top-down, third-person offering that follows a young mouse named Quill. Seeking greatness and justice in kind, Quill answers the call when she's summoned for a journey of epic proportions. It's up to Quill to navigate through long-forgotten lands, crack the code on mind-bending puzzles, and face off against menacing opponents. Moss will launch this holiday 2017 season. In Riverbond, you'll embark on an action-adventure journey for 1 to 4 players down an enchanted river to explore an ever-shifting landscape. You'll uncover the truth of a collapsing world and rebuild a passage that once served as the path between life, death, and the great beyond. Tacoma from the Gone Home developer Fulbright is another title that's been a long time in development and will launch this August 2nd as a PC and Xbox exclusive. In the game, which like Gone Home boils down to a story about people, you explore an abandoned space station to discover why its crew disappeared. Using an AI partner and an augmented reality system, the player uncovers video and audio records that document past events from different perspectives to unravel the mystery. Looking like a mix of cyberpunk Blade Runner-esque and a retro platformer, Last Night looks to be a title with its own completely unique aesthetic. Set in a dystopian future where human labour has been replaced by AI, the game tells the story of a low-class citizen called Charlie. While we have little to go on when it comes to gameplay, given the aesthetics, we can't help but have high hopes for this game. This Windows 10 and Xbox exclusive is coming sometime next year. One of the biggest indie darlings of recent years and first shown at E3 back in 2014, Cuphead launches on the PC and Xbox September 29th. With a look and feel akin to 1930s cartoons from Disney and Warner Brothers, animation fans might want to give this one some special attention. Ooblets is a farming, town life and creature collection game clearly inspired by the likes of Pokemon, Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing. It's also one of the cutest looking indies we've seen in a good while. The basic premise involves you growing your crop of creatures that you can later use in the game's Pokemon-style battle systems. All the while you can interact with a village of eclectic citizens while fully customizing your home and character. Like many of the games in this wrap-up episode, this one's expected to land next year. In this colourful looking platformer, your player's Lucky the Fox as he helps his sister attempt to recover an item called the Book of Ages from Jinx, a scheming and mysterious villain. Super Lucky's tale seems to take its influences from other well-known 3D platformers and is coming November the 7th. Don't Starve developer Clay Entertainment returns with a cartoon-style role-playing adventure Grifflands, in which players form parties of outlandish heroes to engage in fortune hunting and turn-based combat. The debut game from the wonderfully named Beethoven and Dinosaur studio, The Artful Escape centres around a young musician named Francis Vendetti, who, let's face it, looks like Harry Potter if he swapped out his magic for shredding. The trailer doesn't give too much away, aside that we can expect some incredible audio and pretty visuals. Coming, according to the developers, when it's damn ready, this one's likely to hit late next year or perhaps out into 2019. In Ashen, players are dropped into a sprawling open world that doesn't have a sun, and the only light comes from illuminated ash that covers the dangerous landscape. The game will feature a multiplayer open-world RPG and has been in development in some form since 2014. Ashen reportedly takes inspiration from The Road and will feature Dark Souls-esque combat that utilises a stamina system. It's currently set for release on Xbox One, Steam and the Windows Store, although a date has yet to be announced. Ori and the Blind Forest has become one of Xbox One's most noticeable exclusives, and at this year's E3, we learnt the beautifully drawn Metroidvania would be getting a sequel. While no gameplay was revealed, a beautiful looking cinematic showed Ori surveying a dying landscape with an owl that seems to have lost its parents. There may be little new details to get excited about yet, but given the quality of the original, this is definitely one game you'll want to put on your watch list. And with Ori, that's all we've got time for today. We hope you've enjoyed our 2017 E3 Indie Games Showcase and wrap-up, and look forward to seeing you back here on Get Indie Gaming soon. Many thanks for watching.